In an effort to preserve historical decks, Artisan Tarot came out with the Conver, the Noble, and now the Dodal Tarot on Kickstarter. So I must say a valiant effort, a lot of work, a lot of dedication has gone into this, and very much appreciated. Now, William Rader is a professional magician, so you're going to get card quality. You're going to get lots and lots of card quality. Here is the back of the new Dodal deck. Now this is on Kickstarter as the time of this filming, link in the description. So there's you some information about it. So very excited about this. As like I'm saying, the shuffling, the spreading, the card quality, it's 310 GSM. It is William is a professional magician. He knows what needs to be done for cards. So he deals with cards for years and years and years, all day, every day. So he is very aware of what card quality is, how it needs to be done, etc. There are also a lot of extras and bonuses with this deck. So go on Kickstarter. They have pins. They have some stickers, I believe, that they're creating, and they have a beautiful blue cloth, which I'm pretty excited about. Anyway, this is the Gene Dodal 1701 with Kristen and William from Artisan Tarot. So there we go. First edition. This is my review deck. So let's look at the Fool. I like it. The Fool always, I mean, they're doing 6 decks total. And the Fool always has some different type of thing going on, which I kind of like, right? Sometimes it's like a dog that's actually pulling pants down. Other time it's like an animal that's scratching the skin. Other times it's like an animal actually biting the person. It's interesting just how much variance you have in the TDMs with the Fool and the dog. Now we have the Magician with the standard cups and balls. All the tools and what have you, almost like a lock on this. I think that's kind of interesting. Now the expressions are going to be a little bit different than previous decks. So you're looking at the expressions from the Conver, going to be a little bit different than the expressions from this. And this is a full-size tarot, mind you, unlike the Noble, which was a little bit of a pocket size. So if you need a portable deck, Noble is going to be your friend. So, there we go. A little bit of a High Priestess. It's sort of interesting. It's more of a tablet than a book in this version. That's sort of an interesting twist indeed. Emperor sort of really hugging onto that thing. Really grasping and hugging onto that thing. Emperor, yeah, it looks about the same. A large wreath. I guess, wreath/necklace in there. It's kind of interesting how everything is different. Also holding on to the belt a little more firmly than before. Also interesting. A lot of hand action for the worshipers. Interesting. Now this is always a weird one, right? Cupid is now blindfolded, which, okay, interesting. That's always interesting, right? Cupid has a bare ass. You see a bare ass in the Fool. It's almost like the Fool has become Cupid. I'm going out on a limb here. I wasn't around in 1701. I'm sorry. I am old. I'm not that old. But Cupid is blindfolded. In many of the TDMs, Cupid's not blindfolded. And Cupid is blindfolded indeed. It's almost like this kind of a sinister type of feeling as Cupid comes down through here. And the expressions are very sort of modest. The expressions are very modest indeed. I think it's interesting how he's holding his belt like the Emperor was holding his belt. It's kind of interesting that both of them are in that mode. Anyway, but yeah, holding onto his belt, and he's also naked from the waist down, it looks like. So yeah, it's always interesting. The hand is a little lower here. Maybe pregnancy. I mean, you know, out on a limb, I'm not a 1701 Dodal expert. I'm just doing my opinion of doing 20,000 tarot readings. So, anyway. Chariot, it's good to see we have movement in the horses rather than a traditional Rider-Waite-Smith chariot, which just has the sphinxes being immobile. Interesting, we have a slight imbalance, which is kind of cool. A slight imbalance, indeed. Not much, but it's just sort of slight. I think that's interesting. It's also weird just how much of an angle is on there. Hermit, pretty traditional with the Hermit. Wheel, I mean, okay. You do have this weird transition here from the original thing. I kind of wonder what's going on. Is this water and it's falling off? Is this a ground plane and it's falling off? It's always interesting to wonder. Strength, a little bit of an awkward mouth position. It's a little bit awkward. It's almost like she's riding him. Transportation, maybe kind of feel. The tongue with the Hanged Man. I mean, what else can I say? What else can you say with that? Interesting indeed. It's also interesting how the platform is not visible in this. Death with the scythe, with the removed hands and feet, which if you've read any books on the Crusades has a lot of interesting stories about that. If you read any old world history documents, texts, books, severed hands and feet were quite popular back in the day, unfortunately. Anyway, yeah, temperance, here we go. A little bit of a devil action. Again, we have the tongue, sort of a tongue-in-cheek, literally, or tongue out of the mouth aspect to a lot of these cards. Do you have hands tied behind the back in here? The Tower, interesting that she has such a jovial expression and half her body is behind there. Also, that mix looks kind of weird, and there's a level of synchronicity to the falling stars, coins, whatever they are. Here we go with a little bit of a star action there. That almost looked like a tail rather than a tree. Moon. In some of the older decks, the crab, lobster, whatever it is, crustacean, is not colored in one of the older decks. It is colored in here. You don't have any light reflection coming off of any of the dog or the wolf. You do have an angle kind of in there as well, kind of a solemn look with very thick eyes, right? Tongues out for, yeah, okay. It's interesting. It's almost like he's punching him in the gut. It's so weird. Like the hand position's so awkward here. It's like punching him in the gut. Or he's wearing a suit and he's trying to get into the suit or something. It's just really awkward kind of feel in some of these cards, but kind of cool. Yeah, there we go. Judgment. No tongue out because they're busy playing the horn, the trumpet, what have you. So you do have people looking up and one person kind of solemnly, that's kind of an interesting, right? Maybe I don't want a rebirth or reincarnation. I'm not looking up. I'm not celebrating it. I'm just kind of here and looking to the side. Maybe there are some people that don't want that celebration, that don't want that rebirth or reincarnation, what have you. Interesting indeed. World. Genitals being covered. Again, weird expressions. Very cool indeed. All right, sort of flip through these and go for what we, just there you go. Pips are pips. And there, okay, just going to go through all the pips, I guess. Pips are more pips. Penetration of Kether, like William pointed out in the PDF presentation. You do have the synchronicity of this vine going all the way through instead of stopping in the middle. Anyway, so the Valet of Swords, get the Knight of Swords, very cool indeed. Yeah, I mean, some have that, some don't. Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. King of Swords sort of looking to the side instead of at us. That's kind of cool. We have some more pips. The good thing about the TDM, you don't have to spend a ton of time on the pips. There are, of course, lots and lots of different details in the pips compared to some of the other decks. But I'm not, I mean, if you're into this, you already know what those are. Anyway, Ace of Wands, I like it, there's green, shows the vivacious, the life energy. I think because it's green, I like that a lot. It's not just brown. We have a green talking about for export. I believe he was talking about with this. Kind of interesting that he's presenting the for export indeed. The knight kind of solemnly looking over there. I like how the horse and him are looking at the same direction. Very solemn look on the queen. Sort of a lopsided eye, too, in the original. Kind of cool. Lopsided eye and the king as well. King does look like he's about to get up. Like Michelangelo's Moses. It looks like he's about to get up at that point. Beautiful, beautiful pips, man. That's just, I mean, I got probably 10 TDMs and yeah, that's just, I mean, Artisan Tarot, they get it right. They get it right. Jean Dodal, PLN, he was talking about, that could mean for export, what have you. There we go. A little bit of an ace of cups there with a decorative, okay? We have a page. It's just so interesting how that's covered up, right? It's interesting how that's covered up. No fish, no steering at it. It's almost like that I need to hide something. I need to cover something up. And then you have some action here as well. And then you have sort of touching this piece coming out. Knight, Mr. Romance himself, Queen, and King, always looking to the right. Very cool. Now let's go into the Pentacles with the pips. Again, there's lots and lots and lots of intricate details that have been reproduced from the original deck. And man, for reading, this is just wonderful. Just beautiful, just wonderful. The man, the cards feel fantastic. They're just stunning. Love that. I love that. The yellow is not too yellow. It's muted. It blends well. It flows well. And overall, I'm pretty pleased with that. Valet of Pentacles actually steering at us. So weird. Steering at us, right? Almost like I'm presenting this to you. I have something to say. I have an expression. I have something to do. And again, holding on to the belt like the Emperor, like some of the other cards. So interesting. Well, like the Lovers. So interesting that we do have quite a few characters hanging on to their belt. Also think it's interesting you don't have any decorative action going on here, which normally you would expect at least some being a knight. We have the Queen sort of steering at it very contemplatively, and the King looking right again. Now he seems to be more firmly seated in his seat in this thing, and it seems to be a very much a shorter stool or a chair rather than a throne that you see in the Rider-Waite-Smith. I like how he has all the fingers except for the thumb over the pentacle. And I mean, overall, this is fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful deck. They have done amazing work in reproducing the Jean Dodal. And I think that their effort to get history and keep it, right? Get history, keep it. Get all of the old decks, bring them back, restore them. Such a valiant effort and an amazing effort as well. Now, if you go to the Kickstarter, you got a couple of options, one of which is the cloth, another which is the linocut, to where they'll actually get they actually hand carve some wood, and then they will do you a print from that. They also have some pins as well. So if you go to the Kickstarter, they got a lot of different options for you. And if you go to Artisan Tarot, they have a lot of different options, add-ons. They're getting a new bag for the Noblet, a little cute little bag that this fits into. They have other options for the Conver. You have a different cloth, a white cloth, if you're not interested in the blue one. But yeah, on their site, on their Kickstarter, they have a lot of good options, a lot of good stuff. So definitely recommend this, recommend backing this. Again, card quality is outstanding. William is a professional magician. He knows what he's doing. He knows what card quality is. And he's very peculiar, picky. He's going to get it right every time. So if you're looking for a restoration, maybe, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, has this been restored like this before? I need to research. But if you're looking for a beautiful restoration that they've worked like 7-8 months on, this is the place to be. And the Dodal is the one to get. I think this has so many cool differences, variances. It's so easy to read. And again, card quality is immaculate. Let me know what you think. And that is my look at the Dodal Tarot. Link in the description for both the Artisan Tarot site and the Kickstarter for this. Thank you for watching. Please hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.